It is time. We are prepping the garden for the autumn season and I am giddy about it. We have so many ideas and so many potential blooms, and hopefully we will be harvesting the fall away. That's the hope. So I mapped out everything that I want to plant. We will have some overlap because we already have sweet potatoes taking over one bed and our Seminole pumpkins, which are truly the star of the show. I'm so thankful they seem to be thriving so much. Hopefully they will produce fruit. It's so special because every morning I come out here right as the sun's coming up and the bumblebees are pollinating, which is what I was hopeful for because the pumpkins need cross-pollination between the male and female flowers. That's crucial to it bearing fruit. So every time I see the bees, which thankfully has been every morning, I am more and more hopeful that we'll get some actual pumpkins. And I updated a few vlogs ago that we've had a pickle worm problem, but I haven't seen them in about a week and a half. So fingers crossed. As far as flowers go, I really focus on, did you see I wanted to say as far as flowers grow, the pun. I really want to focus on sunflowers this fall. That's typically what I've done year after year. We love our zinnias so much, but it's sunflower time. They just feel like fall and they're so joyful, and the bees also love the sunflowers, so I'm hopeful that we'll have many blooms. Speaking of zinnias though, I updated you in a recent video that I was trying to make this zinnia, dried out zinnia garland with our zinnias from the spring season. And here it is. It's a little lackluster, but I think it has potential. It's still drying out on the end here, but maybe if we layer it with something else, it does feel special because our zinnias have brought so much joy and color and life to our garden. So I do want to put it somewhere. But it's not, I wouldn't say it's the most gorgeous thing ever, but it's sweet. It's cute and sweet. Okay, as far as sunflower goes, I actually have all of our seeds here, and I want to highlight some of our favorites. I plant just a whole hodgepodge of sunflower seeds to kind of see which ones take, and I love the idea of a variety. So, a couple of our favorites. I absolutely love the lemon queen because what's special about her is she has multiple blooms per stem, which isn't always the case with sunflowers, so that's fabulous. And then we have our autumn beauty, of course, that just makes sense for autumn time. Our teddy bear, which is so fluffy and adorable and unique. I think that's such a beautiful addition. And then I'm also planting these cherry rose sunflowers for the first time. What drew me to these is that they have a shorter time frame from when you can expect to see the first blooms. You can expect to see blooms in about 40 days from planting, whereas some of these other sunflowers, they have a 75 to 80 days to maturation, or even 90 days for some of them. So I'm hopeful that we'll get some blooms before like Halloween and of course Thanksgiving. Hopefully we'll have many blooms for Thanksgiving, but you never know. We'll see what takes. And on the subject of the sunflowers, something we're implementing this year is higher security, and I am putting a real life scarecrow in the garden, and I'm hopeful, one, it'll be adorable, but two, I'm hopeful it'll keep away the birds and the bunnies from taking our sunflower seeds, because last season we just got hit by so many pests and then hurricanes. So, you know, I'm always approaching this all with an open hand and just seeing what happens, but we're hopeful. We're gonna stay hopeful. And then as far as other crops, I already mentioned the sweet potatoes, pumpkins, and we have our peppers and herbs still. But once we harvest our sweet potatoes in about a month or so, I'm gonna plant dinosaur kale. I'm really hopeful about this. This kale is so unique because it gets so, it's called dinosaur because it gets massive. It's like a kale tree. So I'm really excited to see how that turns out, and that should be able to take us all the way through springtime if we continue and stay on top of harvesting, which I anticipate we will because my husband loves kale. He eats like a kale salad every day, which is very impressive. I'm getting more into it too, so. It's also delicious in soups, like pumpkin or sweet potato soup. It's a very nutritious addition. And then I also want to plant some straw flower. We tried to plant some in summertime, but I just couldn't keep up with the watering schedule and the heat was just too harsh with it. But we've had success with the straw flowers in the past. So I'm just going to stay on top of it a little bit more and plant them in a shadier spot, I believe. So that's the plan. And as far as other projects on our list, we have a lot to tidy up. I need to tidy up the pumpkin leaves because there's some dead leaves that I just want to trim away. And then our little garden tent with the bamboo sticks behind me, tidy that up, and we'll see what else is on our list. Oh, the window boxes need a nice pruning, so we have a lot to do, but I am, again, truly looking forward to this autumn season in the garden. Okay, here's a bit of a garden overview of what everything is looking like. Clearly the zinnias are spent. They have seen better days. I'm so thankful. We got about 5 months of blooms, so that is wonderful. But we do have some cosmos and marigolds down here still that I'm going to try to keep most of them, especially the marigolds, because those are part of our security system to keep the bunnies and the birds at bay, especially when we plant the new fresh seeds. This is the one sunflower that we had bloom this season. But wait, is that a little baby sunflower about to bloom? How interesting. I am trying to plant some of these varieties that produce multiple sunflower blooms on one stem because, of course, the more the merrier. And on this side, we just have some very, very sad zinnias. So it is time. It is a little past due, honestly, but the cosmos are still kicking it and looking cute. We have some milkweed back here. I had strawflower in this bed, and then unfortunately the heat just got the best of it. And I have no idea what this is. I haven't identified it yet, so I need to try to identify it, and then we'll decide if we want to keep it or not. I'd love to try to plant strawflower again. I'm thinking of just kind of turning this area into a strawflower / sunflower bed. I just want to use more of this space between our palm trees to plant more sunflowers for the fall time because they're just so joyful and cheerful and beautiful. So again, the more the merrier. And then for our little bamboo tent that we made, I'm going to insert a picture of how cute it was because now it is not looking so cute. I knew when I planted the zinnias and kind of wrapped the zinnias around the bamboo, that was going to be a short-lived look since the zinnias aren't really a vining plant. But I do have 2 vining flowers in each corner of the bamboo tent, so I'm gonna try to just pull out all the zinnias and keep those vines and sort of add, hopefully it won't totally take away the bamboo structure, but it never was that sturdy anyways, so I'm hoping I can just sort of clean it up a bit. So we have that, and then between, here's my soil I'm gonna lay down in the flower beds, but between our stepping stones we had this gorgeous herb of grace, or it's sometimes called water hyssop, and it was completely devoured by the white peacock butterflies. So thankfully it is making a comeback. If you see those little green sections, this is actually a weed right here, but it is making a comeback, but it again was just completely devoured. I'm so thankful it's making a comeback though, because I absolutely love it and I miss it. Here's another one. You can barely see it, but again, it's making a comeback miraculously. We also had it cascading out of this flower brick bed, but again, it was devoured. There were probably like 300 caterpillars on it. Look at all those mushrooms. I absolutely love how they look. We've been getting a lot of rain, so there's a lot of moisture for the mushrooms to grow. Here's more of the herb of grace coming back, so I'm thankful about that. Another little project we have is cutting back our Blackfoot daisies because they've become really leggy. So we'll try to do that. I love when it cascades out of the brick bed. I think that's so charming, but it just becomes really leggy at the base. So we'll cut that back, give it a refresh, and then our cosmos are looking great. I might cut this back a little bit because I'm thinking of planting more variety in the center of flowers for the fall, but I'm still kind of marinating on that. And then our herbs are looking great. I actually should harvest some basil so that it doesn't get too tall and start to flower, so we'll do that. The peppers have been stressed with the heat, but I'm just hoping they'll continue to bear with us and produce more, especially when it starts to cool down. Our Greek oregano has been a highlight. I use it almost daily for different recipes. It's so yummy. And then this section we still have blank, and I'm debating if I'm gonna do Everglades tomatoes or do our dinosaur kale here. I kind of think I should wait to do the dinosaur kale until we harvest the sweet potatoes in about a month, which, look at these sweet potato vines just taking over. Oh my goodness. And then our pumpkin vines, not to mention our pumpkin vines. I'm so incredibly excited about these Seminole pumpkins. I'm still blown away at how quickly these vines have grown and flourished. Let me show you. We have one pumpkin that appears to be growing. We did have a little pickle worm scenario, but I think I don't even want to talk about it, but I'm pretty sure. But I haven't seen any in a few days, so I'm hopeful. But here's the baby pumpkin growing. Look at it. Oh my goodness. This is an example of the female flower. So that's the baby pumpkin growing at the base. So if it was pollinated by the male flower via insects, you can also hand pollinate it, then hopefully it will continue to grow. This is an example of the male flower. It's closed up right now, but the biggest indicator is that there's just not the baby pumpkin at the base. So that's what we have going on. It really is just like sprawled in every little nook and cranny. It's growing over the bushes over here. I absolutely love it. So also on my list is to sort of clean it up though and prune off any of the dead leaves like this and just set it up for success. Okay, I've laid down a fresh bag of soil and compost in each side of the flower beds, and I did manage to preserve some of the cosmos and some of the marigolds, so that's great. These love to self-seed, so they'll continue to spread out, I'm sure. Those marigolds look really sad, but I feel like they'll come back. They're pretty resilient. And then I had those mystery little zinnias that I've been trying to identify, which I think I did identify, and they were wrapped around one of the big zinnia's root system. So I'm gonna try to baby it, and I need to water it. It's so thirsty and stressed out right now, but I'm gonna try to baby it and save it, but my hopes are not high, but we're gonna try. This mystery plant over here, I did identify it. It is Ricardia scabra, maybe? That's a scientific name. And then it's commonly known as Florida parsley. So not my first choice. I'm gonna pull it out and use this as additional planting space. I'm gonna harvest some aloe to put on my skin after all this gardening. And I'm way past due harvesting some. out some of the sunflower seeds and just sort of picked out different miscellaneous ones as I'm planting, and then we'll see which ones sprout, and then we'll fill in any gaps in a week or so. I love how whimsical it looks with the sweet potato and pumpkin vines trailing out of the beds. It's very charming, but I'm going to be a little relentless and trim a bunch off because I really want the plant's energy to focus on producing more fruits instead of just creating longer and longer vines. So I will of course keep the spots with the baby pumpkins growing, but every other spot I will trim off. And we actually are getting our pine straw refreshed later this week, so that's also a good motivation to get the vines off the ground a bit. And I'm mindful of the pests. Sometimes when you have so much growth like this, you have more room for the pests to permeate and hide. And unfortunately, I did spot a squash bug on our pumpkin the other day, so that was very saddening, and I'm hoping to squash the squash bug population. Amen. Obviously, this is my first season growing Seminole pumpkins, and I'm learning so much already. One possibly detrimental mistake I made is planting too many pumpkin seeds within one garden bed. The Seminole pumpkin seeds have such a high germination rate, so that's not something I'm really used to, and I was just so excited. I'm like, oh, I think I planted 6 in total, which again, that is way too much for this one bed. I think 5 of them ended up growing, but yeah, that's just a lot for this one bed. I'm worried about them not having enough resources. Next time I'll just do 2. It's nice to have 2 because, again, the flowers need to cross-pollinate, the male and female, so you just have more opportunity for that. But I am worried because here we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh my gosh. So did I plant 7 and then 6? Yeah, I think that's what happened. So who even knows? I'm like trying to level my expectations of even getting pumpkins. It might have been that big of a mistake. I'm not sure, but we'll still hope for the best and just keep learning. That's all we can do. We've had success in this little nook in the past, so I'm gonna plant some more straw flower here. I planted these crossandras about a year ago, last fall, and they still look amazing. I love the pop of orange. I've been working on this pumpkin patch sign that we can hang in the arch trellis. I love how it turned out. It's very just quirky, whimsical. Hopefully, as time goes by, I kind of want it to age a little bit, like the wood, to get a little weathered. I think that would also be charming. But my idea is to just hang it with some fishing wire on the trellis, like I said. So hopefully that'll do the trick. Added some faux pumpkins to serve as a visual until our actual pumpkins continue to grow more. Our friend gave us this stepping stone kit for Wells's birthday, and I've been waiting to make it until I thought of an idea, but I think what I want to do is have Palmer's paw print and then Wells's footprint, and then put backyard boys, because that's what I always call them when they're just hanging out in the backyard. I think that'll be so cute, and I love the leaf shape. It's perfect for this time of year too. Okay, here's how it turned out. It is so sweet. It's not our best footprint slash paw print work, but it's so special and sweet, and I absolutely love it. Whew, and that's a wrap. I really hope you all enjoyed it and have a beautiful autumn season. Let me know if you have any other ideas for the garden for fall time. I always learn so much from your suggestions, so really appreciate you. Hope you are well, and I'm excited to see you next.